How can you help the homeowner during this time? And you guys will hear me say this over and over again for the next 3 days on helping the homeowner. If you're helping the homeowner, you're going to do well in this business. If you're trying to help yourself, you probably won't be doing as well. So with helping the homeowner, you provide alternative solutions to their foreclosure. They have options. Homeowners have to understand they have options other than just walking away from their property and getting it foreclosed on. You may be able to work with them during this pre-foreclosure period. From all the additional costs, fees, foreclosure costs, penalties that keep increasing day after day after day. And my #1 favorite thing is educating the homeowner on the actual foreclosure process. Before I got in this business, I had no idea what the foreclosure process was. So obviously most homeowners probably do not understand their foreclosure process. I deal with homeowners every day that receive that notice of default, and they think they have to move out of their house right now. They don't realize they have a lot more time. They have other options they can do. They think it's over. Or they receive that notice of trustee sale and notice of sale. They don't realize there's still something they can do. By going through that process with the homeowner, what your foreclosure process is in your state. Once again, each state's a little bit different, but you should go through timeline. How long is the foreclosure process? Is there a redemption period? Is there not a redemption period? You also want to go through, do they allow deficiency judgments or not? If you guys are in a state that allows deficiency judgments, you better tell the homeowner that just because they lose their house doesn't mean it's over. That means the lender can come after them for the difference. That means they can garnish their wages. They can attach a lien to any other property they may own. It doesn't just end there if you're in one of those states. Now, about half states have it, about half states don't have it. But it's something the homeowner has to understand, and you need to educate them on. Now, when you're dealing with pre-foreclosures, there's a lot of things you can do with the homeowner in purchasing their house and basically get them out of foreclosure. And a lot of that depends on yourself, and a lot of it also depends on the homeowner and their situation. So let's go through some of the options that you can do with the homeowner depending on their situation. First one, you can do what's called an equity buyout. I'll use for very simple numbers the number 200,000. Let's say the house is worth $200,000, and the rare occurrence the homeowner actually only owes $100,000. What an equity buyout is basically buying that property. Let's say you bought it for $140,000. Basically, you bought $60,000 of equity for an additional $40,000. That's what's considered an equity buyout. Here in the state of California, if you are buying equity from a homeowner that's in foreclosure, there's some things you need to do with the contract. First off, you need to have the right things in the contract. The contract has to state how much equity you're actually getting from that home. So you would actually have to state in that contract, we feel the house is worth $200,000. We know, the homeowner's basically initially, I understand I'm giving up $60,000 of my equity. I'm okay with it. They also have what's called a 5-day notice of cancellation, which means you cannot take title to that property anytime between that 5 days that they sign that contract saying they're willing to sell that house to you. That means they could cancel for any reason whatsoever. And you have to have these in those contracts if you're doing an equity buyout. So what most of them you'll see is called an equity purchase agreement or contract. You were hearing Rick talk about earlier about a lot of these foreclosure laws that are coming out. They're making it very hard to buy properties that are in foreclosure, dealing with the homeowner. 99% of those laws have to do with equity stripping. Short sale. Remember the number I gave you. 80 to 90% of the homeowners currently in foreclosure have no equity or are actually upside down in their property. If you do not know how to work with these homeowners, how to negotiate these deals with the lender, you'll literally be walking away from 80 to 90% of the deals you can do out there. I'll use this stat again probably tomorrow, but they just came out with basically, with a projection that 26 to 56% of all homes sold over the next 18 to 24 months will require a short sale. So for anyone that's realtors out there, it's obviously going to be most of your business. A month ago, MLS in Orange County, 70% of the homes that were on the MLS were short sales. The reason why there's so many short sales is obviously because of no equity. The other reason why there's so many short sales available right now is most people don't know how to do them. And it's no fault to most realtors. They're not taught when they're taking their real estate license how to do a short sale, how to negotiate with lenders. They just know, hey, I can call the lender and say, I'm representing this homeowner as a realtor. Would you be willing to do a short sale? Every lender is going to say yes. That doesn't make it a short sale. You still have to have a buyer. And you still have to have a price that encourages that buyer to buy that property. And that's where the difficulty most people have. And that's what we're going to go through a lot over the next couple days, is how to get that price low enough so it's a good investment either for you, for your clients, for your investors, for our investors. How to properly work with that lender. Like Rick said earlier, win-win-win situation. It's good for the homeowner. Obviously good for me. If I bought a $200,000 house and I got it for $120,000, that's obviously a good investment for me. And it's also good for the lender. Another stat that you guys need to understand. It's what's called loss severity. Loss severity is how much does the lender lose on the loan that they wrote when they take it to foreclosure. CNBC came out 2 days ago. Says it was 54% was their loss severity of the loans that they wrote, that they took to foreclosure. That means they lost 50% of the money they loaned out. So me trying to buy that house at 60 cents on the dollar doesn't look that bad. Plus, what you don't understand is the reason why I was on CNBC is that loss severity also has to do with their capital requirements. The reason why you saw like IndyMac go under, the reason why you have, the FDIC has 90 plus banks worried about them getting, basically having to take them over. Because they all have these type of capital requirements. All right, why are pre-foreclosures more profitable? As a property goes in this pre-foreclosure, as it goes closer to auction, there's going to be costs to this lender. There'll be real costs, actual foreclosure costs, paying an attorney to foreclose. Obviously, money they're not making off getting interest on that loan. There's going to be obviously costs of actually going to the auction, taking over their property, carrying costs, reselling the property, closing costs. The longer this goes through, the more money the lender loses.